Okay, everyone. Our next speaker is German Martinez, and he's with BYOB or BYO Bitcoin, and he's going to talk to us today about mining crypto, how it works, and how to make it work for you. Please join me in welcoming German Martinez.
Hey guys, how's it going today? My name is German Martinez. Thank you so much for having me, and I want to say also thank you so much for being here, because this is actually our third conference that we've gone out to, and it's always such a great and refreshing feeling going out to a crypto conference and hearing all that everyone has to say, because everyone really brings a new perspective, and it's always an amazing time getting to tell people a little bit about mining, what mining is, and then hearing a little bit about what everyone else is doing, because honestly, it's such a growing industry that it's evolutionizing every single day that, you know, maybe you know something that I don't, and maybe I know something you don't, and so this information sharing has been fantastic. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and start a little bit about what our presentation is about. So what I'm going to be telling you is what exactly is crypto mining, because a lot of people are asking, like, what is it? What is it exactly? So I'm going to be telling you all about it, and then finally I'm going to tell you what it can do for you, because it's such a powerful tool and it can do so much for so many different people that we want to let everyone in on it, and we're going to tell you all about it. What is cryptocurrency? We're going to start off with a little bit of a review. Blockchain. Blockchain is this fantastic and disruptive technology that allows for a distributed ledger. This distributed ledger is immutable, is transparent, and in this transparency is add only, which means that once something is added, there's nothing that we can do in order to erase something from the transaction history. By adding it, and it's the most powerful thing because it is decentralized. There is no one place where this ledger is stored, then therefore there's no one risk factor that you have into account because of the fact it's decentralization. This decentralization is done by these things called nodes. The nodes are things that have all these different ledger transactions in a block and then add it to the block, and it's validated through a thing called mining. And what mining is, it's so that to validate these transactions, you have this hash power, and hash power therefore allows to have greater security in the blockchain because of the fact that you want to have something that is secure, that is stable. And to increase security, you want to have increased mining power. And so that's why would you be using mining power? There's actually an independent reward, an economic reward that is instilled into all these economies that allow for people to have an incentive to mine. And this incentive is what mining is. So crypto mining, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the history of where it first started. It actually started, you hear about these people back in 2011, 2012 who were mining Bitcoin with their laptops, their MacBooks. They'd be going up and turning it on and being able to get hundreds and hundreds of Bitcoins on a MacBook. And you're like, oh, can I do that? Not anymore, sadly. I wish we could, right? No, actually, it's because of the fact that there's these increased difficulties. I'm going to focus a little bit on Bitcoin, but this is actually pretty generic as far as like the history of most cryptocurrencies that they follow, from birth to maturity, and from CPU it actually goes to GPU mining, which is an increased efficiency because we found out that with GPU mining, you can get about a 2 times factor, and this is by increased efficiency and hash power. The increased efficiency and hash power then therefore almost makes CPU mining obsolete because of the fact there's people who have twice as much power for half as much electricity. It just doesn't become profitable. And then after that, we had these ASIC machines. And what ASIC was is application-specific integrated circuitry. And that's when we started going beyond the software and started focusing a lot more on the hardware. And how can we specialize this hardware in order so that these circuits, these machines, are embedded into the system and then have the efficiency of being only sole purpose of is to mine one specific algorithm. So a specific algorithm is based differently on different cryptocurrencies. So for example, if you have SHA-256, which is your Bitcoin Cash, you would have one specific ASIC machine, whereas if you were looking at Litecoin or Verge, you would have a Script, which would be a different ASIC machine, as opposed to GPU and CPU were still versatile back in the time. I'm going to focus a little bit about Bitcoin. So let me tell you a little bit. There is about 1,800 Bitcoin being mined every single day. And this number is because of the fact that there's a block limit and a block reward. The block reward is how there is a new Bitcoin being added into circulation. Originally, we all know that there was no Bitcoin, and then there's a limit of 21 million Bitcoin. So these 21 million Bitcoin aren't just going to poof up into existence. We have to actually work for them and mine them. That proof of work is what mining is. So by having this computational power, once you complete a block then releases 12.5 new Bitcoin into circulation. These Bitcoin are going into circulation. That means it's distributed to the miners that validated this transaction. So by validating this transaction, you then therefore contributed power, computational energy, and efficiency. And that is why the power of Bitcoin is in security. Bitcoin has been the one that's been the longest standing since the very first cryptocurrency. So you know that the ledger in the blockchain is the longest and the most secure because it has the most energy behind it. With that, every difficulty level increases slowly. The most recent difficulty level increase was when the reward halved in July of 2016. The rewards halved. So first, when you were mining Bitcoin in 2011, 2012, these rewards were about 50 every time you completed a new block in the blockchain. Right now, we're at 12.5 blocks, or 12.5. And this will keep going up and halving until about 2,100 or so is the estimated date. And you want to know, like, okay, like, what do I do? Well, there's several different things you have to do for mining. You got to have energy. You got to have facilities, infrastructure, mining supply, and all these things can be hard to get. And because the strongest part of cryptocurrency, is to be decentralized. These are things that we want to make sure that everyone has availability to. And not only is the only way to get rewards from the block reward, there's also what is called a mining fee. So the mining fee is, I don't know if any of you guys have transacted Bitcoin in the last month or so, but the mining fees has actually skyrocketed. I remember when I first started working with Bitcoin, you could send money to your friends and it'd be less than $1. Right now, if I were to send Bitcoin to anyone else, it would be about $16 to $20 just for those fees, and those fees actually goes to the miners and they're distributed along them. To have a facility of this sort, you have to be worried about so many different factors such as ventilation and cooling. These things are heavy industrial machines that could be very, very hard to maintain. And so how are we going to be able to bring this to a decentralized state? How are we going to be able to bring this mining and economic reward that's supposed to be decentralized to every individual in this room? And that's what we want to be focusing on in this conversation, is making mining work for you. The way it works is by proof of work, by you getting together, not as an individual because there's going to be so much power behind it, but as a pool. A pool is you and everyone around the world that's working on the same pool, working towards the same block and solving the same block. That way, when the block is solved, you distribute the reward between each other. The pools are kind of like teams. Imagine yourself, you're in the blue team and you're trying to play and winning the Super Bowl. If you win the Super Bowl, you get the reward. But if you don't, you play next year. So the Super Bowls are actually every 5 minutes. So every 5 minutes, there's a new block being mined, and there's about an average of 6 blocks an hour, and that's how many opportunities a Bitcoin mining pool has to create a block. If you miss a block, it's usually because there's variations in difficulty, there's variations in luck, and it's also based on the computational power behind it. So if you have a more powerful team, you might win the Super Bowl a little more times. So that doesn't mean you'll never win it. When you're looking at scale mining, there's hobby mining, which is, you're having a mining rig in your garage and working in a pool with everyone. And then there's institutional, which you're working with a large variety of facilities and are able to solo mine. Solo mine means that you're not in a pool. You have enough energy, enough rigs to be working with it, which means that when you get the reward, those 12.5 Bitcoins all go to you. That's solo mining. And the rewards are distributed by the pool. So that means when your pool obtains the reward, whether it's the block reward or the mining reward, you then get that block distributed within everyone, and that can be based on different payment methods. So the payment methods are pay per last end share or pay per share. Those are two kind of methods that are the most common one. There's other ones out there that are usually hybrids between them. And these are, so what pay per share is based on just percentage. So if you give 10% of the computational power behind a pool, you then get 10% of the reward. whereas versus paper last end share has a little bit more luck calculated into it because it's based on the last amount of number of shares, not computational power. And based on the number of shares you were able to solve, you then get that percentage equivalent. But when you're talking about mining, yes, it's security, yes, it's decentralization, but at the end of the day, we're all looking to get a little bit of money and a little bit of crypto, so how can we become the most profitable? So at the profitability stage that you're looking at, you want to see electricity rate, electricity rate, electricity. Because of the fact that if you're getting 12 cents a kilowatt and your neighbor's getting 8 cents a kilowatt, then your neighbor's going to get a lot more money. And if Bitcoin fluctuates a lot, then whenever if you're doing it day by day instead of month by month or year by year, your neighbor might be able to continue mining where you are no able longer to. So that's why electricity rate's the number one thing, especially when you're looking at things. If you're looking at each machine on average for an Antminer S9 today, which is pretty much your hamburger of Bitcoin mining, everyone has it. It's about $1,300 a year, just in electricity alone. And that means in average residential rates. If you go to industrial, you're still looking at 900, and after that, you got to start looking for efficiencies of scale. And that's where minimizing downtime also comes into play. If these machines want to be on 24/7, 7 days a week, all 52 weeks a year, that means that kilowatt hour is permanent, multiplied, multiplied, multiplied. So you want to have your machines always on because of the fact you're drawing energy. The energy is being drawn. You want to be able to know that your miners are being able to produce and hash the hash rate that they should be doing. And so for that, you want to minimize your downtime and have a straight line to repair. Line to repair means if it goes down, you know what to do. You have a plan of action. And lastly is the infrastructure in the miner supply. Let's say you want one miner. Sometimes they're a little bit harder to find. If you go on eBay, on Amazon, you might order one and it might never come. We've had that happen. But we moved away from that. That was back before we started a company. And because we wanted to be able to have a mining supply for everyone, however they want to get it, and be able to get an infrastructure however they wanted to get it. And with the factors being in play, because of the fact that profitability is something we want to know, you have diminishing demand. More than 75, 76% of all Bitcoin ever to be created in the world have already been mined. They're in circulation. However, if you were to go to Starbucks, if you were to go to a gas station or Walmart and you asked everyone, how many of you guys own Bitcoin? It might be 1 or 2. But in 5 years, it might be 1 out of every 5. And then in 10 years, it might be 1 out of every 2, which means demand is only going to go up. And if demand is going up and supply is going down, basic economics, ladies and gentlemen, what happens to the price? It goes up. Yeah. So because of that, we know that the profitability is also when you want to cash out. Because if you hold these cryptocurrencies for a little while, their worth might be worth a lot more today or tomorrow than they are today. And so obviously it seems as though there's a lot of opportunities for people to get into mining. There's obviously a lot of profitability in being able to get to mining. And I just wanted to tell you about a little bit about my company and what we wanted to do and what our goal was when we first started it. It was actually just me and my friend, and we were like, hey, let's get a Bitcoin miner. So we get it shipped to us, we turn it on, we plug it in our closet, and oh my gosh, guys, it is louder than a lawnmower. It dry ironed all my clothes in my closet. So it was pretty loud, pretty hot, and our roommates were about to kick us out. So we decided this is not the most efficient way to do it. Unless I had a garage with very cheap electricity, this is not the way. So we actually went ahead and got a little bit of office space, and we went to host a few of these machines. And then a friend called us up, like, dude, I want to get into mining too. Would you mind taking care of it, and I'll just send it over to you, and we'll just pay you a little bit, and you can have it at your space? Yeah, why not? And we realized, we want to do this for everyone. Everyone should be mining. This is fun. You're part of the decentralized thing. You're becoming part of what the economy, the community of Bitcoin is. You're making it more secure by therefore becoming part of the network. And it's something that actually is making money. I know it sounds weird. Oh, yeah, you plug it in, it makes you money. But you plug it in, that's what happens. It makes you money. So everyone gets really excited about it. And we actually took this to the next level and wanted to be a one-stop shop for all sorts of mining solutions. Whether you want to mine at your home or whether you want to get into institutional mining, we have this. We have these direct lines of supply. This is actually my business partner, Devin Blitzer. He actually was in Bitmain last week. So this is us at the Bitmain headquarters, and he's in Beijing, China. So if you want Bitmain products, direct line of supply. We're one of less than 20, 15 people who have that direct line of supply. So if you want one, or if you want 300,000, we are able to get that for you, which is pretty exciting because there's very few people who can. On top of that, we offer hosting. So if you want hosting for these machines, we can do it at a very competitive price because of the fact that we were hoping to get everyone in the market. I'll be honest with you guys, there's a lot of competitors out there who grab your mining, grab your pool, and you don't own your miner, you're stuck for a year-long contract, and you don't necessarily get all the rewards, you don't have monitoring tools. We offer all that. You have tools to monitor it, you have tools to oversee which currency you want to mine because of the fact that ASIC machines are algorithm specific. So if you want to buy, or if you want to mine Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash or Bitcoin Gold, all those are under the same algorithm. You have the power to do it because it's your machine. Hence, BYOB. Bring your own machine, bring your own Bitcoin. And we do hardware co-location. So if you do want to mine with us, I hope so. We're more than happy to have you. It's the way our pricing model works is just a one-time or a one-year fee, and that's just one time, and it's all inclusive. That includes your monitoring, your ventilation, your cooling, and of course, all your electricity. Yes, I said it right. All your electricity, which is an average of $1,500 a year for an incredibly competitive price. So right now, this weekend, we're offering it $850 for the whole year. That's right, $850. And it includes the remote monitoring tools as well. So that means you can look at it all the time and see it uptime, see its downtime. So you know that when I say I'm going to minimize your downtime, you'll be able to see, not just take my word for it, Genesis Mining. Not just take our word for it, actually be able to see it. So, and then finally, if you're looking to make a big investment, we would always be happy to help you outfit a brand new facility with the negotiating tools you need to get the best electrical price, to find you the best location with the correct designs for ventilation, cooling, and distribution of all your mining needs at an optimal, efficient way possible that will make you profit. And that is what we do. And I hope you're as excited about mining as I am because it's really cool. And I would love to answer any questions if you have any now. Yes? So right now we have 2 locations, both based in Texas. One is on the outskirts of Austin, the other one is on the outskirts of Dallas. Absolutely, more questions?
So you said $850?
Yes.
Annual fee?
Uh-huh.
So if I was to buy 10 mining rigs to mine in your location, would it still be $850 or is it per server?
No, so what our model is you do own your machine, so you have to purchase the machine. And if you purchase a machine, we will have the opportunity to host it with us. And it is per machine, $850 per machine. Back there, question.
Where is the information stored? I mean, where is all this information stored? The miners don't have memory or hard drives, do they?
Correct. Yeah, one second. So the question was, where is all the information stored for the blockchain? The blockchain is actually where the information is stored. If you own a wallet in cryptocurrency, whether it's Ethereum, whether it's Bitcoin, by the cryptocurrency and blockchain algorithms, every wallet has an entire copy of the ledger. And so you actually, if you have a cryptocurrency wallet, you have a copy of all the transactions. And what the miners are doing is mostly they're just working to solve this algorithm to solve the block, to add the block transaction onto the blockchain. Does that, yeah. Yeah, it's all part of the blockchain. The blockchain itself holds all the transactions, and you, by having a wallet, have the whole blockchain. Sure. Yeah.
Why would I want to buy a miner from you or hosting for you instead of a competitor?
So instead of the competitor? Oh, yeah. So this question was by this guy over here. He wanted to know why you wanted to buy a miner from us instead of our competitors. I mentioned something briefly that it was you have full monitoring tools, full potential, full power, but more than anything, I'll be honest with you guys. We're being pretty aggressive with our pricing right now. If you look at some of the competitors, on average, they're charging about $150 a month. $150 a month, guys. I don't have a calculator with me, but I'm charging a lot. What's that? That's $1,800 a year. I just cut them by more than half. So you're welcome.
connection with Bitmain. When a new miner comes out, how fast can I get it? If let's say I don't want to send my crypto to them, or I don't want to have to do a bank transfer, can I go to you and say, hey, or keep me on an email list and say, hey, when this comes out, get it, purchase it, and send it to me as soon as possible?
Absolutely. So the way that we buy the miners from Bitmain, I say Bitmain because they're the ones that we have a relationship with, and they're also the ones that have most of the market share as far as client-facing ASIC machines go. So the way it works is we get wholesale pricing because of the fact we order one batch ahead of time and in a large chunk. And so long as you tell me by the first of the previous month, I'll get it for you to the first of the next month. So right now we're taking orders for the April 1st batch. So by April 1st, it will be in the United States, ready to ship, or if you're somewhere else around the world, I'll get it to you. So you can get your order in before March 1st. I can then therefore fulfill the order and have it to you by mid-early April. About 30-day turnaround time.
On what specific miner?
All of them. Yeah.
Can I pay with any cryptocurrency?
Yeah, we take cryptocurrency. We also take bank wires and checks. No credit cards because banks aren't nice. Back there. At this moment, most of our design and our facilities have been ASIC mining. If you're looking to GPU mining, because we're based in Texas, temperature does become a little bit of an issue. We are looking into it, but at this current time, we haven't actually started dwelling into it. So not now. Call me in a week. Yes.
Of course, does not have any Bitcoin mining contracts available. So how are you better than like Genesis Mining and Hashflare according to the cloud mining aspect? You guys over cloud mining.
So when you think about cloud mining, you will never own your machine. You will have a contract with a company, and this company will offer you terahash or hash rate. By offering you hash rate, you just get a reward, and you're never able to see a machine, you're never able to own a machine, and you don't have really control over it. These machines are fully versatile. These machines have many pools that you can be mining with, and some pools are better than others as far as like you getting the miner reward. These are fees that over the last 2 months have skyrocketed, and if you're mining right now, and if you didn't see your gains skyrocket, it's because your pool isn't giving you those gains. That's because as a pool, they have the power to keep the gains to themselves. On top of it, let's say that 2 years from now, there's a new machine available and ready. You already made your return on investment in about 4 to 5 months, depending on your cryptocurrency price. And you have this machine that might now be outdated. You can sell the machine. The machine is yours. If you find a better hosting option, the machine is yours. We are only co-location, which means that you can find another place. If you find a great electricity rate or a really nice nook in your garage that you don't care if there's a lawnmower always on, it's yours, and we can ship it to you within the next week. Huh? No, it's the machine is yours, always yours. You're not buying it back. We're just hosting it for you.
So I was just saying, like, if the person, would you buy it?
Yes, we do. We do. What's a good rate for?
Electricity rate. What do you?
So average residential. This is my last minute, so this is my last question. Sorry, guys. Average residential is 12 cents. Average industrial is 8 cents. This is in the United States. We, of course, are getting a lot better. Because of the fact that there is competition and we don't want to be fighting for resources, we don't actually disclose, but we are able to, in Texas, Washington State, negotiate for really competitive pricing for electricity. Guys, that's all the time I have for questions. I want to tell you thank you so much for your time. I hope you're excited for mining. And any more questions, our booth is actually here at the Soft Fork, and we're back there. Come by and say hi to me and my team.
Awesome. German Martinez with BYO Bitcoin. Our next presentation should be in a few minutes, so if you'd like to take a break, see you back in a few.